I'm Courtney Savage here with Dr. Terrence Roberts, one of the students out of the Little Rock 9. We're here at Congregation Emmanuel. How are you doing today,
I'm doing
Dr.
fine,
Roberts?
thank you.
It's
Thank
such a
you
pleasure
for
to meet
having
you.
me.
It's an honor to be able to have this conversation with you right now. So really, we just want to, as an HBCU student and someone who is seeking education, I want to see how it was for you to pursue your education as a high school student in 1957 in racist America.
Well, you know, when you decide to make a commitment to educating yourself, you have to deal with whatever the reality is around you. My reality was a segregated America, so I had to learn how to navigate that terrain. Today, students like yourself and others are not faced with that same reality, but it has its own issues, so it's important to know what those are, but always maintain goal-directed behavior. Don't get sidetracked by anything.
Awesome. So with that in mind, I know you spoke on when you were 13 and you had the incident in the burger joint and you kind of had your epiphany at that time that you wanted to see a change as far as segregation was concerned. So, and that led you to volunteer to become a student at Little Rock Central High School. What was the kind of thought process that went between you as a 13-year-old and you as a 15-year-old high school student?
Well, at 13, when I had that wake-up call, I knew that I could not go through that charade anymore of pretending to obey these laws of segregation. I never believed in them. So this was just an opportunity for me to become more congruent in terms of how I thought and how I acted. So my message to the world at that point is, even though you have these laws, they're not going to have any more significance for me. And it just so happened that the school board decided to integrate the school. That was an opportunity, as I saw it.
Alrighty, and how did your parents react to your decision to want to attend the high school?
Well, they were very supportive. In fact, they said when I came home and reported that I had volunteered, they said, we will support you 100%.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
I know coming from a strong family, it's nice to have that kind of support system.
That's right.
Speaking of support system, I know you and the other 8 students were a support system for each other. Although I heard that you didn't have any class together. Did y'all know each other ahead of time before entering the school?
Yeah, there were only two secondary schools for black kids in Little Rock, the high school and the middle school. If you were a black kid and you went to public school, we knew who you were.
Alrighty. So you went through an entire school year of being harassed and tortured by all these students. How did you cope with that every day after school when you went home? Like, what made you want to keep going back to endure that?
Well, first of all, I could only do it by understanding and knowing who I was. I was not defined by the kids or the mob members or any of their actions. None of what they said or did was in any way a reflection of who I was. That's an important distinction. I didn't have to spend any time worrying about that. Also, I had learned at home, what other people think about you is none of your business. That works. When you truly understand that, you can put all of your energy into doing what you want, not what other people might want you to do.
That is excellent. So afterwards, you know, they closed down all the schools and you moved to LA. Why LA?
Oh, simple. I had relatives there. It was easy.
Alrighty. And now looking back, how do you think that experience has affected you in your adult life now and throughout college?
Well, I don't really know, but I do know this, that whatever you go through in life will have an impact on you, regardless of what it is. For instance, some people tell me sometimes, or ask me the question, how does it feel to have made history? Well, my point of view is we all make history every day. The only question is, what kind of report are you going to leave in the historical record?
Alrighty. And then last question, being a HBCU student, what is your opinion on the division between HBCUs and predominantly white institutions?
Well, we all know why the HBCUs had to be created. Black people were not allowed to attend the other institutions. They have since taken on a life of their own, and now they stand as an option. I've met some students who feel a lot more comfortable at an HBCU than they would at a campus where they had a majority of white students. The same is true, or the vice versa is true for those who feel that they can function on other places. But when you think about it, it's all individual. I think all options should be available for all people at all times.
Well said, well said. Well, thank you again. It was a pleasure speaking with you again, Dr. Terrence Roberts of the Little Rock Nine. I'm Courtney Savage, TSU TV.
Thank you. Go, what's your mascot?
Tigers.
Tigers. Go Tigers.